I get a lot of people asking me how we were blessed to walk away from corporate America in our early 30s. Well, listen, I don't want to keep that a secret. I want to share it with the world. And so maybe you're listening to this podcast and you're trying to figure out, how do I even get started on my journey of entrepreneurship and getting to a level of freedom? Well, text the word freedom to 737 777 9909. Enter your information in, and we look forward to sharing some information with you. A proven system with small overhead, right? That you can do part-time, spare time, right from the comfort of your home, and have amazing mentors, coaches, and a community of entrepreneurs who are willing to support you and help you on your journey to freedom. Welcome to Code Freedom. I'm your host, Eddie Bales. Have you ever felt stuck? Have you ever felt like there's got to be more than life than the reality that you see every day? Tune in weekly, Tuesdays, Thursdays, and Saturdays as we crack the codes to freedom in every area of your life. Welcome to Code Freedom. This is your host, Eddie Bales, and this is episode 170 of the Code Freedom podcast. And, today we're going to talk about the myths around retirement and just retirement stuff in general. And I just felt led to share some of these things with us because, hey, it's something we got to think about. And, number one, there's a myth around it, but then number two, there's some accountability around it as well. So, I want to read a quick quote. Uh, First off, that from in 2017, there was a survey by the Rand Corporation. It's a nonprofit research firm, and they said 40% of workers over 65 end up rejoining the workforce. And we've all seen it. Maybe you have parents or grandparents who have retired and then went back to work. And so, first, let me just dispel this myth about retirement. See, retirement is not based on age, it's based on income, right? If you can amass enough income where your bills are taken care of, then and you can live a comfortable life the way you desire, then you can retire at any age. I mean, you can do that at 30 if you choose to, at 40, at 25. It doesn't matter what age. It's just a matter of what you do with your income. But the average person, of course, is not thinking that way. The average person is just thinking the way the rest of society is. And the rest of society, typically, some of them retire around 62, but others who want the full retirement are waiting till 67. And I don't know about you, but I just don't want to wait that long, right? Like, retirement to me doesn't mean just sitting around twirling my thumbs either. Retirement to me really just means being able to live the lifestyle that you really want to, and not have to really. Hey, it's the essence of code freedom, right? Not having to consult a boss or a bank account, right? I mean, so being able to travel the world, learn how to do new things. Like, one of the things I want to learn how to do is play the guitar, right? So, having a fitness instructor where you go exercise and do things, and being able to hang out with your grandkids and not have to worry about the financial aspects of life. That is true retirement, right? Where you get to enjoy your lifestyle and enjoy your life. Now, I'll also tell you this: a lot of people just are not prepared for retirement. It's not even something that they're thinking about because they're so focused on getting through today. And I get it. I totally understand. Like, when you got to put food on the table today, you're not really so much thinking about retirement, but these are all things that we got to think about. One myth that I do want to share with you is that some people think that $1 million is enough to retire. Well, most people won't even have that much because maybe they didn't invest well, right? Maybe they didn't invest and save and things of that nature. But even having 1 million really isn't enough. Here's why I say that: because if someone just, let's just say on average, if somebody retires at 65, the average life expectancy is to a little bit over 80, right? So that means if you lived off of $50,000 a year for 20 years, that would be $1 million, right? And you may say, okay, 50,000 is enough to live comfortably. I'm not sure about that, and here's why I say that: because throughout those years, I mean, inflation is already happening. I mean, look at the gas prices. Everything's going to continue to go up in the future. It's not going to go down. It's going to keep going up. And so you have to have the income to keep up with the rising costs of things so you can maintain that comfortable lifestyle. Hence, that's why a lot of people who end up retiring have to go back to work. Matter of fact, there's another statistic that says, I already said that. Yeah, I already said that quote. But but again, um, who wants to retire just to go back to work, right? That's not fun, right? So, like, we have to do proper planning. We have to really strategize and really have a strategic plan on how we can live and operate our lives. And that is one another reason why this whole podcast exists, is because it's something that we need to have as a lifestyle. Code freedom is a lifestyle. And so if you can build enough passive income in multiple streams, right, where money is coming to you regardless of what you do, then you pretty much can live the life that you want to live. Now, I'm not saying that you won't do some work, but we're not talking about manual labor. We're not talking about back-breaking work. Like my definition of work uh, later on down the road might be traveling across the country to go do a speech, right? And making a good deal of money on that speech for that day, right? Or, and even while I go do that speech, I still have other forms of income that are coming in regardless of what I do, right? Rental properties, stocks, understanding the stock game and knowing how to take money and make it work for you, right? And I'm not just talking about like the old traditional ways of taking money and then just letting it sit there for 50 years. I'm talking about being able to take money and then grow it today and make more today than you might have made in a year's worth um, in income. I mean, that is possible, and you got to think that big. Like some of us just aren't thinking big enough, right? We got to think bigger than where we are right now. But we have to. The only way we can start to live bigger is if we think bigger. And then we have to act bigger, right? So we got to think bigger, we got to live bigger, and the only way to live bigger is by acting bigger. It's by taking action, it's by planning, it's by preparing, it's by seeing what you want and going after it unequivocally with everything you have. I told my wife that I have a new goal for our family because it's my job as a husband to set the vision for the family, right? And so I told her, you know, that I wanted us to be at X number of dollars in 5 years, right? And so now my mind and my brain is going to figuring that out, and I know how to do it. So we're gonna put the plans in place to make that happen. But my whole point is, you know, I, I don't want to be the person that says, "Hey, in 40, 50 years you'll have $1 million." No, I believe we could have $2 million, 3, 4, $5 million in the next 5 years, 10 years, right? If you plan it properly, if you put the work in, if you understand the laws and the rules of how money works and how things work, and not just the old traditional stuff that everybody teaches us, like put it in a 401k and just park and pray and hope it works, right? That's not what I'm talking about. There's so much information on how we can grow. There's so many tax strategies and loopholes and investment vehicles that we can get involved with, and if we're not going to take action, then what are we doing, right? See, for me, I want to make sure that the next 5 generations are set up, right? That's just where my mind is at. Is I want to make sure that the Bales household is taken care of for generations and generations to come. I want to even this podcast. It's just excites me to know that one day my great grandkids may listen to this podcast, and be able to learn some of the things the ways of thinking that can take them in another direction. But if you take it seriously, it's one thing to listen, it's another thing to listen and then take action. It's another thing to apply. It's not just about knowledge, it's about applied knowledge. It's about taking action on what you learn. And are you going to fail? Absolutely. Are you going to hit your head up against the wall? Are you going to have challenges? Are you going to have ups and downs? Yes, 100% unequivocally. However, as long as you keep going in the right direction, you keep getting counsel and mentorship and guidance and keep studying, keep learning and keep getting better and better and better, it gets better over time. And then next thing you know, you turn around. Just like Will Smith said, you built that wall by building brick by brick as perfectly as you could lay it. And then, my friends, you start to see a wall that you can be proud of, right? A wall that doesn't have to depend on social security benefit, doesn't have to depend on a 401k that you hope that you put enough money into and the market didn't go right. I mean, we're talking about being able to take control of your family, of your lifestyle, where you can live the life that you really want to live, right? Like imagine not having to have an alarm clock. Imagine um being able to just go wherever you want to go and stay as long as you want to stay, right? And not have to worry about the time factor or the income factor. Like you just go from place to place wherever you want. Get you an RV or something and just travel the country, like however you want to do it, right? But I want you to design that type of lifestyle. Design it on paper and then work backward to start figuring out how you can make that happen. And look, don't despise small beginnings. You got to start somewhere. So start somewhere. Yes, but keep dreaming and keep seeing the future of what it could be, what life could be like. Because listen, some people some days are other people's every days. And if it can happen for them, it can happen for you. If it has been done, it can be done. And if it can be done, it can be done by you. But you have to take action. And look, I kind of got a little bit off topic because I got a little excited over here. But we're talking about the age for retirement, and just know that you don't have to be common. You don't have to be what the masses say. You don't have to live in that lifestyle. You can design life the way you see it, the way you want it. Look, what if you were able to get some apartment buildings that were paying rent every single month, and you were able to live from that lifestyle in an extraordinary way? Right? What if you were able to have enough digital products that were out there that people purchased and saw value in, that they wanted to buy it from you, and it continued to build a certain lifestyle for you, right? What if you had multiple businesses that paid you cash flow, even when you're not working it because you're on vacation, you're spending time with your family, your grandkids at that point when it gets to retirement age, or just your family, period, right? Because again, you don't have to be a grand to be retired. Like you can be 35 and spending time with your own kids, really enjoying life and being in their everyday lives because you took the time to build something, right? So passive income is critical. Um, Having forms of income that will work for you. Leverage is a key factor. Learning how to get leverage in your life. You can be the real estate agent or the real estate broker. You could be the insurance agent or you could be the insurance broker. The broker is the one that has the leverage, right? Even in the investment game, there's ways you can have leverage. Like for instance, don't get me wrong, you can invest in the stock, but you can get some leverage by investing in the options, right? And there's so many different vehicles that you could take advantage of. It doesn't have to be the old traditional way. It doesn't have to be just real estate. It doesn't have to be just stocks. But there are a lot of creative things you can do in today's society. But the key is do something and do it consistently and do it with discipline and diligence as if your life depends on it, because it does. Your future really depends on it. So I would say this: set a goal to get $1 million as fast as you can get it, right? Set a goal to get $1 million in liquidity as fast as you can get it. Um, and don't do it just to do it. Do it for what it will become, what it will make of you, right? And then once you get that million, I've heard it said by many people that the first million is the hardest, but all the other millions are pretty easy after that because you know what to do. You got the blueprint. You've done it, right? So get that first million out the way, then go for the second, go for the third, go for the fourth, right? And just let it grow to a place where you're not even worried about income anymore. You're more worried about impact. How can I impact society? How can I impact people's lives? Because look, all your bills are paid. Your lifestyle is being funded on a regular basis, and you get to decide how you want to live your life every single day, right? So at this point, it's more about impact, not income. And that's where I want all of us to get to. And that's the whole point of this podcast, is to bring you to that level, to that place. So listen, I hope you all got some value from this episode. I hope that it was helpful, but I do want you to know that retirement is not based on age. You don't have to wait till 65 to retire, 67 to retire, and then hope. Listen, put it like this: for people like me who are considered the baby boomers, or the no, we're not baby boomers. We're like Gen X or something like that. Um, Look, I don't even think Social Security will be around at that point. They won't be able to afford it. So I'm not even depending on that. Like if I did get anything like that, it would just be like extra or a bonus, but I'm not even expecting for it to happen. I know that I need to take control of my future and put it in my own hands. Of course, everything I touch is blessed because I'm blessed by my Father who is in heaven, and so are you, right? If you believe that. So I don't have to depend on anybody. But at the same time, I am going to take control. I'm going to take action. I'm going to move. I'm going to continue to study and continue to build on a regular basis and build this wall brick by brick. So listen, I hope you enjoyed this episode. Share it with all your friends, especially those who you know need to listen to this as it relates to retirement. And also just keep in mind, like I said before, 50,000 a year for 20 years, $1 million, that's really not enough in my opinion. And when it's time to really retire, you might be okay with 2 million, right? Because that would be at least 100,000 a year for the next 20 years. But even 100,000 a year, you'd be surprised, can go pretty fast. So, as inflation rises and increases and lifestyles change and things of that nature, hey, I would just really evaluate where you really want to be, what you really want to be able to accomplish, and what you want to do in life, and then go for it and just believe and keep on going no matter what. Appreciate you all for listening. Take care, take charge, and we'll see you all on the next episode. Thanks for tuning in. Appreciate you guys for listening. Definitely feel free to take a screenshot of this episode, tag me in it on Instagram or Facebook or wherever you find me on social media. I would love to give you a shout out. Hey, you might even get a prize. Who knows? But excited that you had a chance to take a listen. I hope you got a lot of value. And definitely feel free to give us 5 stars as well as a review. Show us some love, and we appreciate you. God bless you all, and see you all over the top.